Monarch Media's continuing coverage of Old Dominion University football and the season opener. Ted Alexander with Andy Mashaw here at Foreman Field at SB Ballard Stadium. Andy, another crazy one with these guys. They seem to bring us that every week.
Yeah, well, it came out, started a little bit slow. I think guys were a little bit uptight, a little antsy to get going. Things start sliding away from you, and they got pressed a little bit, but they got it under control.
The interesting thing is, first games are crazy for 1,000 different reasons. Guys seeing action for the first time, people getting the butterflies for the first time in months, etc. And we saw the Monarchs get off to a good start. The first drive, a Jared Brown bomb.
Yeah, well, the first time he hit a 51-yarder was indoors in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta against Georgia State. This time he does it outdoors, and he had plenty left on that one, too. That one would have been good for more than 60.
You know, the interesting thing was you saw the Monarchs score 3 points on their first drive, and you thought, all right, they're going to be in control of this thing. But then they missed a field goal, and the plucky Duquesne Dukes from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a 9-2 NEC team from a year ago, came back and battled.
Yeah, they did. That first pass that they scored on was a pretty one. Had a couple of pass interference calls on that, but, you know, staying alive, getting outside. Patterson found his man in the end zone, and hey, they take the lead.
And look at this. We found out that sophomore quarterback Taylor Heineke was human. Threw a couple of interceptions that led to a couple of scores, and suddenly it's 20-10 at the half.
Well, see, Duquesne came out in this sort of amoeba-looking front, but they didn't have any down linemen, and it sort of threw them off a little bit. They had some protection issues, some pressure on them. A couple of those interceptions were caused by pressure. Some of them were broken plays. This first one just looked like he lofted that up. Looked like it may have been supposed to be a screen, but instead it goes right to the defense, and they took advantage.
So the Monarchs trailing 20-10 at the intermission. You're thinking, uh-oh, we're at home, and we're down 10. Is there trouble? Well, some adjustments were made at the half, and they came out screaming starting the first time they had the ball.
Yeah, the second half was entirely different football game. They came out flying up and down the field, plays all over the place. The offense was just an onslaught today. The passing yardage by Heineke, things that slowed them down, execution errors that happened in the first half did not happen in the second half. And because the defense for Duquesne was out on the field for so long, they were just gassed. They had nothing left to compete against this offense that was running such a high-octane, high level.
Angus Harper, a touchdown catch. Nick Mayers, an 11-yard touchdown catch. And then he goes for 75 in the prettiest play of the night.
Oh, yeah, Heineke rolls out, stays alive. Mayers, as they do in practice, follows his quarterback, makes the catch, and then just makes about 12 different guys miss. They had guys on the sidelines coming out trying to tackle him. Nobody could get to him. He juked out about 4 or 5 guys at the 40, just making cuts that just defy physics on the way in. And when you get this guy in space, we said it, and he was good last year. He's even better this year on open space, and good luck trying to tackle him.
Monarchs force some turnovers, get to some short fields. Tyree Lee, a couple of touchdowns. Harvey Taylor, the freshman, his first touchdown. When you talk about team records tonight, first of all, Taylor Heineke, 492, that's a record.
Yeah, 492 yards of passing. He's threw the ball to 11 different receivers, but he's still not going to be happy because he did have those 3 interceptions. A couple of them, one of them at least wasn't his fault. Receiver fell down, but he's still not going to be happy. The only time you can throw 492 yards and not be happy about it.
And the Monarchs, as a team, roll up 723 total yards. That obliterates their old school record they set against Richmond.
Yeah, that was 587. They beat it by 136 yards tonight. And, I mean, there are things they could work on. They had 80 yards in penalties, which is something they're not going to be happy about. They're going to look at that in film. But overall, it's pretty solid performance. Good way to test it coming out of the gate, because this was 20-10. They were losing 20-10 at halftime. And they came back out, and they made adjustments. They played well. The defense played very, very well tonight. Half of those 23 points was not their fault. So, very, very upbeat performance for the defense. Very overwhelming performance by the offense, and we're looking forward to keep this thing rolling.
Monarch defense just gives up, 28 yards in the second half. Old Dominion outscores Duquesne after the intermission 47-3. The final score was 57-23. Old Dominion 1-0 on the 2012 season. For Andy Mashaw, I'm Ted Alexander for Monarch Media.